This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Racer consultants are standing by. Caller 9 right now, 844-999. Ola will play profile this in minutes. And we do have your headlines on the way 1 hour from now. First, quick check into Mike Hawk for some of the stories and headlines he is not working on. And when I say he is not working on them, today we really mean it, as he is surfing the Oregon dunes. Let's see here. A new survey reveals the least appealing food term. Guys, any idea what the term that is the least appealing food term?
To describe my food. It's not going to be moist because you can use that with cake, right?
Mm-hmm.
Deconstruct it.
Hairy. I mean...
Vegan.
Well, yeah.
Vegan is the least appealing food term, according to a new survey. Vegetarian's up there as well.
I can believe it's up there, but even... Look, I hate vegetables, but I could probably force down a veggie patty if you slather it or something. But the vegan stuff basically says this is food minus any fun.
Other terms that make food less appealing, back to that, include diet,
sugar-free,
gluten-free,
yeah.
Organic. Takes the fun right out of it.
Which is weird, because organic doesn't really mean healthy.
It don't mean anything, dude.
You can eat organic cookies every day of the week.
Yep.
Yeah.
And people do.
And they pay for them.
Yeah.
At the Whole Foods.
Yeah.
They really pay for them.
Oh, it's organic.
Survey says, what is the number one item that we misplace the most?
Keys.
Keys is number one, barely edging out our phone. The top five are keys, phone,
wallet,
sunglasses.
Oh, yeah.
Umbrella, and then your wallet or your purse.
I feel like for me, number one, keys, number two, remote.
It all sucks, man.
I was always good with the remote. Then I had kids, and this is it, man. And I'm trying not to lose my cool. This is an everyday thing. And when you ask kids, hey, man, if you ask kids where is anything, for one thing, they don't know. And when you send them to look for something, and if you're a parent, you know this is true. Your children have looked, and I'm quoting, everywhere. Mm-hmm. Therefore, it is not anywhere. If your kids can't find it, it has ceased to exist.
That's probably half the reason that I'm just so absolutely... I do the same thing when I get home as far as where I put my stuff.
Put it back where you found it.
If I don't, I'll lose it. So I need that system of organization. And if not, I'm not... Where is my wallet? I know where I normally put it. Oh, my God, it's in my pants. Like, thank God. Oh, no, it's in this pocket. Like, I go through the process if I don't see it there because that's not normal.
Sometimes with the remote, I just get up and walk around or take a phone call. So I just forget.
Well, the first place I'll check, there's two places I'll check. If I cannot find it in the living room, I'm like, okay, it's either in the bathroom or it's in the kitchen.
Sometimes those are the two places. Sometimes it's on top of the laundromat and
right,
on top
right.
of the dryer. Like, I'll walk in there, like, folding clothes, and I'm like, where the hell is it? I'm like, oh, yeah.
Often it's by the water pipe.
Mm-hmm. Yes, often. Let's see. New study says that couples who eat more of this have more sex. What do they eat more of to have more sex? What type of food?
Oh, food. Never mind.
Easy.
Vegetables.
No. For sex?
Yeah. Gives them fuel.
It gives you fuel, but it makes you stink. I'm going to say dessert of some kind.
I mean, ideally it'd be pizza.
New study says, yeah, no kidding. Couples who eat seafood at least twice a week have more sex and get pregnant faster.
Okay, well.
I've always heard that oysters are an aphrodisiac.
Yeah, it is also proven that oysters are aphrodisiacs.
Oh.
People were 39% more likely to get it on after they ate them. A lot of this has to do, they believe, with the fact that there's a lot of protein in there, there's a lot of healthy oils, and you're not as tired as you are when you eat other foods when you eat fish.
And fish turn you on.
So,
when I was growing up, back when I could grow hair, I had an afro, and then I would describe my penis as the Desiac. That was just so... It's an aphrodisiac.
Sneezy. I mean, I think pieces of fish is true. If I ate a bunch of crabs and shrimp, I don't know that I want to be having sex.
I would still want to have sex. I don't think anyone would want to have sex with me with my buttery fingers with spices under your fingernails. It's not a good look.
Oreo just announced 6 new flavors that are coming out this year. Oreo cookies, 6 new flavors.
All right.
Strawberry.
Apple pie.
You know what? I'm not working on it, but Good Humor Strawberry Shortcake is on there. Apple pie is not on there. Banana, no.
Caramel, right? Don't they have caramel?
No.
Damn it.
Something salty.
Here we go. Chocolate peanut butter pie.
I'll try it.
Chocolate peanut butter pie is fantastic. Good Humor Strawberry Shortcake.
I like those bars. I'd try it.
Right. Rocky Road.
Sure.
Pistachio.
Yep.
Ooh.
Peppermint bark. And birthday cake.
Probably
Wait a
not the
minute.
birthday cake, but I'm cool with the other ones.
Didn't they already do the birthday cake?
I think in a funfetti kind of way is the way they're going to do the birthday
Man, I gotta
cake
tell
this
you,
time.
I like the plain birthday cake. I'm down with those flavors.
Look, it's Oreos,
Yeah,
man.
they're all good.
Right.
There's nothing disgusting in there.
Nope.
There is an S&M swingers dungeon in England that gets a lot of police visits, thanks to calls from the neighbors. And the cops say the best call was when someone saw a child going into the club. And it turned out to be a short adult woman.
Yeah, I know. Can you imagine being like, they call the cops that often on those people? I'm just short.
Oh, damn.
I'm not really a little person or a child.
Here's a positive story for you. All right. About 10 years ago, the owner of a music store gave a woman a trumpet because she could not afford to buy one for her son. Now the son is 21 years old. He recently found a letter about it, and to inspire him to start a GoFundMe page to buy instruments for other underprivileged kids. There you go. Finally. Yay, right? Thank God.
That's nice. I just kind of thought that story was going to end with, like, now he's a famous trumpeter.
Sorry not to live up to your expectations, Ted. Was it not happy enough for you?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't sound like you grew up with it his whole life. He just reread the story?
I think maybe his mom didn't tell him.
All right.
You know what I mean?
You normally don't want you. Remember we were on food stamps? Weren't those the days when I couldn't buy anything and I was dating Lance?
Yeah. We were so broke he gave you a free trophy.
Remember when even though I knew Lance touched kids, I still let him take you out to eat because you're hungry?
You're right. Every time I bring up my mom selling or pawning her chain or her, what are those little bracelets?
Wedding band?
Tennis bracelet?
Tennis bracelet.
That have all the little jewels on
Charm?
or charm bracelets.
Charm bracelet,
yeah.
okay.
And I'm like, I still remember that was great. We got pizza. She almost cries.
Oh,
Don't bring it up,
She
man.
misses that thing.
why would you bring it up? She
You're
hawked
happy about
She
a
got
pizza.
memory for me.
but she hawked her charm bracelet
Mom, that
so
was
you
some
could
good
eat.
pizza.
God damn, it better been the best pizza you've ever eaten.
And
her
here
mind.
you are. Hey, Mom, remember that? I'm telling you, that pizza was.
That bracelet worked like a charm.
Right? Well, plus I don't think she cares being like, yeah, don't tell everybody that stuff.
Tinder is testing a new feature that will figure out the places that you like to go and match you up with other people who go to the same exact places.
I don't think it's a good idea. Because I don't know, which way do you swipe if you don't like someone?
Well, you're going to see them across from you no matter what. I would think that this would make this more awkward because if you don't have the...
But now, this chick that I'm interested in, who's not interested in me, I know where she hangs out. I mean, it's just, I don't think it's a good idea, man.
If you've never heard of goat yoga, it's a yoga class with goats roaming around.
See, this is, I hate to hate people, but then I hear something like this, and I'm like, damn it, people, I have to
This
hate
sounds
you.
something
It's
like...
big. It's big in Portland, right?
This sounds
Goat
like something.
yoga?
This sounds
Yeah,
like
man.
something for blacks in Georgia exclusively. Anyway, a goat yoga class in Georgia was interrupted a few days ago when one of the goats gave birth in the
Come
middle
on,
of the
man.
class.
See, I just, no. Don't do goat yoga. So what is goat yoga? If I did goat yoga...
It's a bunch of white people with mats, and they lay on the ground, and goats walk around them.
Honestly, it is.
Seriously?
And they're
Yes,
like,
that's
the
actually
goats
what
are
it
going to
So
calm
wait,
you
you
down.
do yoga, and there are goats
And there's
there.
goats
And then you
around.
meet with your friends, and you talk about goat yoga afterwards. And you tell them that they should go.
Jesus Christ.
That's how it works.
I'd stop it.
And you got to chastise regular yoga
Yoga
people.
people and
They
not
don't-
yoga people.
they
because
don't
you're
have-
doing goat yoga.
Birthing goats.
Right, yeah.
Isani? No, it's goat.
A 33-year-old woman in Florida was
Curry?
visiting someone in jail this month and passed up a good parking spot right in the front to get a better one. Then she threw that car in reverse, hit a cop car, and got busted for drugs and driving on a suspended license. According to a new survey, what state are the most confident in how their bodies look when it comes to being in a bikini?
Hawaii.
Maine.
Maine?
Maine.
They just don't care.
Maine.
Yeah.
They don't give a crap.
And how often do you wear a bikini in Maine?
People in Michigan apparently
Outdoors.
are the least confident. Here's your badass of the day. A 64-year-old storm chaser in Missouri passed away because of a heart condition. And in his self-written obituary, what did he want to do with his ashes?
Spread them in a storm.
Launch them right inside a tornado.
Okay.
That's pretty badass, right?
That's kind of badass and crazy.
Doesn't that mean eventually, though, they're just going to get tossed out?
Basically, you're going to spray everybody's house with goddamn human ashes.
We've got your headlines coming up 1 hour from now, but first the game is...
The Men's Room presents Profile
Hey,
This.
Stephen Throwhill, can you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. I just needed the belch. I got through like 3 sentences with this thing in my throat, man. I had to let her fly. Hello, Dylan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola!
Hola! All right, Dylan,
you guys have any fun plans for the weekend?
I'm just checking out, going over to your wife's house.
You know, same old thing that we always do.
No, nothing. Drinking beer. Yeah.
Yeah, drink beer and hopefully it's sunny.
Yeah, and grill some food out, man.
Now, Dylan, you understand how this here game is played?
I sure do, Thrill.
All right, fantastic. Here is your story. And Miles just touched on the story about parking. And one thing we know, people go crazy for good parking spots. Basically, to avoid a 1-minute walk, you'll actually sit in your car and drive around for 5 minutes looking for something closer. But it backfired on this particular woman, a 33-year-old woman. She was visiting someone at a jail, keep that in mind, near Fort Pierce, Florida. That was earlier this month. And there was a perfectly good parking spot in the visitor's lot. But she wanted to be closer, so she kept looking. Then she threw it in reverse to back up and slams into a cop car. And again, this is outside of a jail where she's there to visit. Now, she admitted that she was, quote, just lazy and wanted to park closer. But then the cop ended up running her info, found out that she was driving on a suspended license. So that's bad. But then it got worse for her. They searched her purse and found a small amount of marijuana and a pipe. So now she's facing charges for driving without a license, possession of marijuana, and drug paraphernalia. So she can save 60 seconds off her walk. Question is, do you believe that this woman is black, white, Mexi, or Asian?
Well, where was this at again?
In Florida. Hang on, I can give you the city. Hold on.
Fort Pierce.
Fort Pierce, Florida.
Oh, man, what is up with Florida all the time?
Florida.
Man,
We could have called the game Florida.
And again, we don't actively search Florida. We never look for stories out of Florida.
Maybe get some money from the state of Florida since people down there. What do you guys think?
So she was pissed she didn't get the spot.
She wouldn't imagine she didn't get the spot. She just wanted a closer parking spot at the prison that she's going to visit whoever.
All right.
But she found a parking space she wanted, throws her car in reverse, and slams into a cop car.
Dylan, this sounds very, very confident to me, based on the fact that you are driving on a suspended license, you're going to visit a friend in jail, and you have marijuana and you have drugs on you. I would just go white based on the blatant, I don't care aspect of it, because I'm not afraid of the authorities. But that would be the only thing that I would guess.
And that's kind of where I was leaning there. But what about you, Ted?
I'm with Miles. Feels pretty white.
You're visiting a friend in jail. To me, that just sounds white. I got no problem going to jail. I go every week, 2 or 3 times. I'm comfortable around, authority.
Yeah, that does seem like a pretty white thing to do.
You want to go final answer, Dylan White?
Yeah, let's go white final answer.
We'll find out if she was black, white, Mexican, or Asian next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitches. You're listening to the Men's Room.
All right, profile this takes us to Fort Pierce, Florida, and a 33-year-old woman who went to jail to visit a friend there, passed up a spot, backed up, and basically she hit a cop car. She had drugs on her, and she had a suspended driver license as well.
Yeah, basically she, you can piece it together. She's not the person who you want to visit you in jail, but Dylan, we asked you, did you believe this woman was black, white, Mexi, or Asian? And you were just like, white. Miles said white. Ted said white. Everybody said white.
All right. Yeah. Very good. Now, it's all TV news all the time. It's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box,
Armageddon.
The Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
You guys are good with animals, right?
Well, it depends on the animal.
Well, you're good with dogs.
Sure.
I'm not sure I can say you're good with cats since your cat attacks you a lot.
And it walks on 2 legs and all kinds of weird
he's
stuff.
kind of a Franken cat.
And you named him Gomez.
He's over there walking around on 2 legs.
You know what, man? He's a big talker. I find that I'm walking around my house and I talk to him a lot, and I've realized that I'm the guy who talks to his cat.
Yeah, you know what your cat's saying. So you're crazy. You keep talking to him.
That's not good.
Yeah.
But he talks constantly, man. I come in the house like, meow. He almost gives me that heads up like, what's up? I'm like, not a bad day, dude. Meow. Like, what'd you do?
I'm going to bite you later.
Just sleep. If I could, I'd eat you.
Right.
That's what every cat is saying.
If I just had 70 more pounds, man.
I love you, but I'm not above murdering you.
Domestic in the feline world is a matter of poundage.
Right. You know what?
No,
You're
really.
100% correct.
So animals, right? Like some people are better with certain animals or whatnot. Now, a horse is a massive animal, right? They can be kind of scary. When I was a child, I went horse riding a couple times. Scared the crap out of me.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't know why that evolved.
Well, they're much bigger when you're smaller, too.
Yeah, and I mean, still to this day, like one time at a horse track, like I stood in the winner's circle. When they bring that horse in, it is scary.
It's different.
It's massive.
Yeah, when you're a kid.
It's not like but those horses that race, and you don't really realize it watching them on TV, but you're right. We were all standing there, and you look at this horse, man, and honest to God, like, it does not look like any horse you've ever seen in your life. It'd be the difference between you can meet 20 guys, right? Just average guys, and then they introduce you to Andre the Giant. It's like, so you go like, okay, this is a guy, but this is not normal.
Like a Clydesdale.
Yeah, it's like sometimes when you're in a certain restaurant and you can be like, "This, I wonder if that guy plays." It's like, look how big he is. He's probably, you know what I mean?
The way they're cut.
Like, just football players in general seem massive. So the horse, he's, a massive animal. Now, me personally, terrible with horses. Fed him an apple once or twice, but like I wouldn't. I'm not a horse. Like I see a dog, I can contain a dog, talk to it. So this reporter's name is Haley Moore. She's over in jolly old England. And basically, what the guys are going to talk about here is there is a horse racing out of control, and Haley jumps into action to stop
That's some stop that, Bob, wasn't it?
That was unbelievable.
That is some stop that. She might have broken her earpiece, Bob, so that's going to be incredibly expensive for her.
And the radio might be broken too. The microphone might be damaged. She's in deep trouble, isn't she, for doing that? You've sent the Twitter machine completely mad. That was... I've never seen anything like that. Well done. Unbelievable.
Look at that Twitter machine.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, they might have to go and sort the divot in after. Luckily, it's on the jumps course, so there'll be time for the track to get back right before the jump season commences here. Yeah, give them a clump. I just couldn't bear to see it go out on another lap. So, yeah, I thought we'd go for it. But we've got a good race coming up here. Adrenaline, if only it could be bottled.
All right.
I'm going to guess that based on the fact that she's covering this event, she's competent in this event, so that she knows horses, so she's able to be like a horse person, runs out there.
You're right. But go to the video at the mentioned Facebook page. Have you seen this yet? It will blow your mind. The horse is out of control, all right, to the point of, like, it's just doing laps around the track. And it passes a couple people who work at the track who dive out of the way because they want nothing to do with it.
All right.
And basically, she gets in the way of the horse, almost gets into like a 2-point stance. And as the horse is sprinting by, she just reaches out, grabs the reins, it drags her for a little bit, and with one arm, she friggin' stops this horse. And then she pops up, throws the saddle off.
Boom.
Damn. Yeah. I'm telling you, dude, it's so like that audio, I don't know if it gives justice to what this woman did, but it is amazing.
Didn't your parents had a story like that when they were first together, dating or whatever, and your mom was
and what we call the never-ending unfolding story of things you learn about your father, right? Because he does not brag about anything. He's just real even killed. So my mother told me when they first started dating, which keep in mind at this point is over 54 years ago, right? But they first started dating, and one of the things they did was ride a horse.
Years ago.
And one thing to keep in mind also is...
This is like 1962.
62, 63, right around then. And but my father hails from Texas, and what you find is if you are from Texas, and it doesn't matter what part of Texas you're from, there are just some things you can do, all right? So they go out horse riding, and it's supposed to she's never been on a horse, and so it's supposed to be some slow trot or whatever. Anyway, her horse gets spooked and takes off running. So as my mother explains it, like this thing's going full tilt, and she has no idea what to do, but she's let go of the reins, and she's now just hugging this thing around the neck.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's bucking everywhere, screaming her face off, and this thing now takes off into the trees. There's a tree line on the side of this meadow or whatever the hell, and this thing and she's like, branches are breaking all around us, and this horse is just going. She says she remembers ducking her head, like she sees a tree branch coming, ducks her head, and her hat is now hanging off of the tree branch. This kind of stuff. So she's pretty sure she's going to die, and she's like, I swear this on my life. In the background, you kind of hear this. And she looks up, and now here's my father, yawn his goddamn, or like, yah, reaches over in one hand, scoops her ass off of the saddle of her crazy horse, then grabs the crazy horse's reins, stops that bitch right there, and walks the horse back with his horse as she rides, on the saddle with him. And I'm like... You know what, man? I got none of that from him.
And that's why they've been together for 50-some years.
But I was like, you know how to ride a horse? And he shrugs. He's like, yeah, I had to ride horses as a kid. You don't. But like
I killed a spider for a girl.
Even then, I'm like,
you cup it?
What's
No.
that?
Did you cup it or did the magazine smash it?
Paper toweled it.
Okay.
Yeah, either way. If they're like, no, keep it alive. I'm like, then you have to deal.
I normally pick it up and shoo it outside.
I will say this. I have taken a spider outside before, but then when I see another spider, I assume it's him.
Mm-hmm.
Now he has violated our trust. Toilet.
Spiders are large and in charge of my house. They are not small.
Yeah. I know Mike's side here is our Breaking Brad. Breaking Brad.
Breaking Brad's a whole different. That's the Angelina story.
That's right.
Breaking Brad.
He was crying and everything. It was great.
Breaking Bad.
So upset. I think he's like one of the most powerful men in Hollywood. Ha!
So basically, Dean Norris, he was on that show. You would know he played DE agent Hank. I can't say the last name. You would know this guy if you saw him.
I can't say his last name, so
DE agent
Yeah, exactly.
Hank.
Whatever.
Okay.
You would recognize him from other shows. He plays a cop often.
Okay. He's just
Right?
that guy with that face.
Yeah, he's one of those kind of character actors. Like, as soon as you saw Dean Morris, you'd be like, oh, that's Dean
that
Morris.
guy.
So he tweeted out the other day just sex gifts. Like G.I.
Oh, not gift, like a gift that you would give, but GIF.
Yeah, like a GIF you see on...
Yeah, okay.
Is it GIF or GIF? I've heard this a million. Is it GIF or GIF?
I heard GIF, but no one says
Originally
GIF.
it was GIF, but I've never heard anyone. Yeah, exactly.
But did it used to be with a J? This is with a G.
No, but that was
I'm
just
just
a way
saying.
for
I've
some
heard
reason
people
they
say you're
used
supposed to say GIF, but no one says
But we
GIF.
say GIF, and you're like, all right, well, I can't keep up.
So anyhow, he tweeted it out. A lot of people think he meant to put it in the in the search bar.
In the sex bar.
Yeah. Come on down to the sex bar, mama.
You might
ever
remember
drink
me.
some butter and nipple.
Would you like a sex on the beach? I bet you would.
You might remember me as TV's DE agent Hank.
We only drink Michelob Ultra.
Anyhow, some people thought maybe he meant to type it in the search bar.
Right.
Instead, he just tweeted it out. So obviously his comments are filled with people just replying with sex gifs or GIFs.
A lot of people on Twitter don't know what you can see and what you cannot see. Here it is. You can see it.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you have a private account.
Oh,
you
yeah,
can see
mama.
everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that butt.
I think some people
If
really
you wanna
don't
reply to
care
that-
either, man.
If you're not, yeah. That's, you know,
Maybe.
man,
Maybe that's it,
More
man.
power to you.
Something's. I'm like, damn,
Oh,
man.
I would lick.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. We were talking a little bit today. Actually, we talked to an officer of the law today. So James Corden, you know him from hosting a late night show. Also, he's pretty famous for his carpool karaoke. He had Adam Levine with him, and they got pulled over by a cop.
Always belong to someone else.
What's the police saying? Hang on. What do the police want? Hello, sir.
I want to pull you over so he can sing a song for me.
You want us to pull over so he can sing a song for you?
Yes, because you caused the traffic hazard.
Okay, fine. Oh my God, this is a real first. How are you being so cool about this?
Careful, man. Just be careful.
We're sorry, officer. It'll never happen again.
Good, just be careful.
We're being careful.
Have a good day.
Okay.
All right, man.
Thank you. I don't know what quite happened there. I completely panicked. How are you so chilled about a sheriff just pulled us over and you're completely nonplussed by it? I panicked in my absolute core.
All right, so here's the deal. James Corden does actually drive a car when they do that. Now, obviously, the cop probably knows what's going on since he said he has to, like, he didn't give him a ticket or anything. He just said, you guys have to sing a song for me. So a lot of people think, like, the cop knew, but, like, he's legit driving a car, so.
Maybe he just pulled him over, realized who he was, made the drop, and then got out.
I would have to think, if you're in a car running a TV segment, at some point you're going to make an illegal turn or not pay attention.
Of course.
So I think that was the cop was.
That's why I stopped filming my show, Thrill in the Car.
You don't even have to have a show to get a ticket.
That's a good point,
I'd
too.
be distracted and run a red light.
Yeah.
And then I saw myself on the camera and went, oh, well, I'll write you a check.
Yeah, but I'll be dead honest with you, I didn't think he was actually driving. Like
I didn't either.
Like, you see him in there, but I figured it was like on closed streets or whatever. I think it's kind of wild that he's actually driving around singing.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of people do sing in their car.
Everybody.
You know, man, that's probably how they came up with that segment, Miles.
Yeah. He was at the royal wedding.
Ted
You know
is
that?
not piecing it
Did you know
all
he was
together.
at the royal wedding?
Dude, come on, I watched the whole thing.
Yeah,
yes, not only was he there, he put together all the music and acts for the reception.
I did not know that.
Oh.
So I guess he was there.
I know that he
Okay.
was. They somewhat at some point in time I did not watch the coverage, but they panned the camera over to him, and he kind of looked like sad James Corden. And so, like, they had this thing going around, like, what's wrong with James? Apparently, you know, as he explained, like, look, I was up on a red eye all night, and I had all this stuff going on, and he's like, and I think we've all been here before, and I really related to him. He's like, the entire time that I was in this ceremony, he's like, I had this sneeze. And he's like, and it was just right there. And he's like, if you've ever had a sneeze, and he's like, you could drop a dime in this cathedral, man, and it would just ring as loud as possible. He's like, yeah, all I'm doing is fighting off this frickin' sneeze, and it would not go away for the entire ceremony. He was like, it was just on the, like, I'm like, come on, man, because he didn't want to sneeze, like, in the middle of the thing, because he knew it would be like, hell, you know. Exactly.
I'm so sorry.
He was just, like, had this, like, scrunched up face look, like, I'm fighting the sneeze.
Hey, by the way, let's see. This comes in from Jason. It's a very kind individual. He says, GIF is for graphic image file. It's not giraffic image file. Idiots. Yeah, you idiots.
Yeah.
Man.
Hey, move out of your parents' house. Challenge on.
GIF is short for giraffe, dude.
Yeah, suck on that. Right? It's also a delicious peanut butter.
As we would do back in our day, look at our finger, go, psst, you've been burned.
Yeah, choosy moms, choose GIF, bitch. How about that?
Yeah. Zap. Look out.
A GIF.
You've been zapped on the buzz.
A GIF is what you get for Christmas in Harlem.
A GIF is what I spread on you before I eat it off.
I got you a GIF. Suck on that.
Speaking of Harlem, for the second year in a row, ESPN put out a list of 100 most famous athletes.
All right.
Can you guess which sport did not have an athlete on the list?
Golf.
No, but you're on the right track.
Tennis?
No. I was kind of making a funny joke.
NASCAR.
Speaking of Harlem.
Okay. Hockey?
Hockey.
How could hockey not have
None?
Why?
I'm with you, man. I don't know how you couldn't have one hockey player on.
No Gordie Howe, no Wayne Gretzky. No.
Yeah, that seems a little
Hell,
Well, I mean,
Brett Hull should be on the frickin' list.
I mean, the current, 100 most famous.
Right.
I'm sure Gretzky would make the list. I just have a hard time thinking.
You think Mario or Wayne Gretzky or somebody?
It's hockey, man.
Right. I think it's current guys.
Oh.
They're still playing, but I don't see how you don't have one hockey between Canada and Europe.
Right. Come on.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Well, who did this list again?
ESPN.
They're famous for dogging hockey.
Right.
They basically
Hockey's
acted like, once they lost that deal to NBC with hockey, for a while there, they act like hockey didn't exist.
Oh,
They wouldn't cover it. They didn't even, online, they didn't even have a presence. They basically got rid of all their people. So if it's coming from them, I'm not shocked so much because that's kind of their agenda.
But I'm with you. And granted, I'm going to go with two capitals, but I would just think between Ovechkin, just for Russia alone, he's got to be pretty famous. And then,
Russia.
like TJ Oshie is a great American hockey player.
You got to remember, at the height, not the height, when the UFC was on fire, they reluctantly started to cover it. They didn't even want to admit it was a sport. And then when they got the contract for it, everything changed. But at the time, they wouldn't even act like a fight was going on that night. There'd be a pay-per-view fight on, and half the sports audience was gone. Nobody was watching ESPN, and they didn't even act like it existed. They need to cover it. They need to be a part of it and have their hand in it to really embrace it. That's just part of their business philosophy. It's just what they do. If they didn't have the NFL, they'd have to talk about it. But they wouldn't want to.
Right.
Yeah. Look, I'm with you, and I'm not going to sit here and champion for ESPN. But I mean, at the end of the day, isn't that what most businesses do?
Yeah, but when you have something when it's your job to be a reporting entity of a basic genre of something, whether it's local news, you can't say, well, you know what, man, I don't like that neighborhood, so people get shot there, I don't give an F. You know, you can't just segment something out based on your personal preference. But they do.
But you can.
But you can, and they do.
I'm going to say, yes, you can.
Yes, you can, apparently.
Close off a bridge to the whole neighborhood.
Right. Across 110th Street.
Let's see here. You know what? I just want you guys to hear this. Miss USA happened recently, and just tell me what you notice about the announcement of the winner.
Ladies, please take center stage. Nebraska and North Carolina. One of you is only a moment away from being awarded the crown. Now, if for any reason the winner is unable to fulfill her duties, the first runner-up will take her place.
Miss USA 2018 is Nebraska!
Why have they not just announced who the winner is this whole time? Like, why are they always...
Instead of the first runner-up.
First runner-up is Miles Montgomery. And then you have that awkward moment where...
Right, like you already know. Don't you?
I never understood that. Like, right, Miss USA
just say the winner.
Did it correctly. Like, the winner is.
That was no screw-ups. It's just one name.
Yeah.
You don't say Nebraska or South Carolina.
Yeah. And we'd still have respect for poor Steve Harvey.
Yeah, you know what?
Poor Steve.
Poor Steve, man. Hung him out to dry.
When Donald Trump ran it was smooth. That's a fact.
See Miss USA?
Miss USA. Wait, I think, he's Miss USA.
There's a lot of misses and misses.
A lot of misses.
Misses.
Miss America.
A lot of cheerleader coaches. Oh, thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. Headlines coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go as we go to Indiana, where a middle school student opens fire, injuring 2. Meanwhile, in Oklahoma, a man decides to shoot up a restaurant, and then a patron says, hey, screw you. To Toronto, where their restaurants prefer bombs instead. Harvey Weinstein arrested for 5 seconds before coughing up $1 million in bread. And turns out, mussels and clams, they love the opioids as much as the rest of America. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
Actually, I am not Mike Hawk.
Oh, my God, you aren't.
I don't know what the hell Mike Hawk is doing. You said he's in what, Oregon?
Oh, he's surfing the dunes in Oregon.
Surfing the dunes.
Oh, yeah, man, he's a dune surfer.
Hands looking good, Mike.
Yeah, it really is.
He's that guy, man. Trust me.
Teeth looking whiter.
Yeah.
Mike's teeth will look whiter.
Butter looking ricier.
All right, we start with the hard news coming this time out of Nobles West Middle School, which would be located in suburban Indianapolis, where a male student opened fire earlier this morning. It was around 9 a.m. He managed to shoot 2 people. He was taken into custody. I'll leave it at that. Let the more qualified people fill you in on all the details. Same can be said as far as what happened in Oklahoma City, a restaurant there. A man opened fire, wounded 2 customers before being shot dead with a handgun by a civilian who actually saw what was going on, went to his car, got his handgun, took care of that. Again, some are more qualified. Some are more qualified. I should tell you about the bombing in Canada. In this case, police in a Toronto suburb, they're searching for 2 masked attackers. They detonated an improvised bomb in a restaurant on Thursday night. They say 15 people were injured, 3 of them critical. This after the men detonated the explosives device. And no one's quite sure of a motive. These guys didn't say anything, nothing like that. So there's a mystery. A lot of people were happy today when, lovely Harvey Weinstein, he finally turned himself into police after what? 3 months?
He had a smirk on his face, and he did not look like somebody who was either unhappy or felt any guilt or any remorse at all.
When you feel guilt, you don't repeat the same behavior. That's 1. 2, keep in mind, they posted $1 million bond, which for you and me would be the equivalent of saying, hey, your bond is 35 cents. So guess what? He posted it. Now, some good news. This is the kind of news that makes me happy. Remember George Zimmerman? This is the guy who shot and killed Trayvon Martin back in 2012. Well, he's back in the legal system, and apparently he's a little poor this time around. According to CNN, his public defender been assigned to him, and he says, look, man, my guy right now, he has no job. He's $2.5 million.
Oh, time out.
He has no assets, and now he's facing stalking charges.
Time out.
Yeah.
You can't be trailer trash and have $2.5 million in debt. That is absolutely
legal
impossible.
Defense.
Legal
defense.
Oh, for being a jackalope.
Yeah, and that is a good news story.
That makes sense. I was thinking, there's no way that he even has any clue about what that kind of money is.
No, see, it's legal defense. Because here's the thing. Anything else you want to do that's $2.5 million, assuming you don't have that kind of money, they turn you down. If you say, I want that house, they say, well, no. If you say, I want this auction item that's from a movie set, they say, no. The legal system says, absolutely.
You couldn't have a credit card, anybody in your life that would do that. That's why I thought that was so amazing. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
man,
no, it's all legal
money,
stuff,
man.
And I'm very happy about that. Let's talk about someone else near and dear to my heart, Rachel Dolezal. You might remember her. She was the white woman that pretended to be black and did it so well that she was actually a former NAACP chapter leader. Well, you're not going to believe this. After she pulled off that fraud, I hope you're sitting down. She's been charged, believe it or not, She's accused of perjury and false verification for public assistance.
So welfare fraud.
Yeah, she's received over $8,700 in food assistance, $100 in child care assistance between 2015 and 2017. Can you believe that a fraudster committed fraud? I am gobsmacked.
Yeah, did she commit fraud? Well, you know what? It doesn't matter.
But she didn't bilk anyone's money, so it's not illegal, which she did before. But now that you're frauding the government, hell yeah.
I thought she might she might do time.
Yeah, they said up to 15 years in prison. Again, much like George Zimmerman, I smile. Now, this one, Ted's friend had a response to the story where he said, "Hey, Seattle, congratulations. The entire city failed a drug test." And what he's referring to, I love that. In the waters off Seattle, oxycodone is now present in enough marine in the environment for shellfish, to test positive. Basically, they say, look, mussels are filter feeders. They actually ran an experiment, and what they found was they took uncontaminated mussels, threw them in the Puget Sound, left them there for however many weeks or months, came back, and they tested positive for opiates. The mussels don't like it, but your salmon
they love it.
No, the salmon do. They've tested this. The salmon love.
We'll see you next time for the random question. Your guess is as good as mine. Profile this, and we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day.
Yes, indeed. It is all true, but in the meantime, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, do what you do best, and for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The men's room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup